Well, the new school year means that you may now be an empty nester as college students head back to campus, or maybe your children moved out to embark on their next chapter. Either way, if you are struggling to fill the space left behind, you are far from alone. And we do have someone who may be able to help a bit. Joining us now with some insight, coach and inspirational speaker TJ Woodward is with us. TJ, good morning to you.
Thank you so much, Bill. Delighted to be here. I look forward to these conversations each month, and today is no exception.
Yeah, it's great to have you. So we mentioned off the top, folks struggling with empty nest syndrome are far from alone. In fact, there's a term for this. Tell us about empty nest syndrome and how it can impact us.
Well, I think so often this is a topic that's not really talked about a lot, and maybe someone has had 18 years, 20 years, depending on how many kids you have. It could be even longer, where your focus has been in your parenting, and then suddenly everyone's gone, and you're left with this now what moment. And I think in some ways we might think, oh, that's going to be really great. I'm going to have all this time to do things. But there can also be this side effect, if you will, where we might experience some sadness, some sense of loss, maybe some confusion, and really not knowing now what do I truly desire, because I've been focusing on raising my kids for decades.
All right, so if we're struggling with this, what steps can we take to kind of reignite our purpose?
Well, I think there's two ways to talk about it. Of course, there's what we can do in the outer realm, which of course anyone could say, you know, get a hobby. What do you love doing? Go join a group, get out in nature, you know, do your exercise routine. But of course, I'm going to look at it through the psychological or even the spiritual lens, which is, how do we pause and actually reflect on what we truly desire? Like I said, some of us have been focused so much on our parenting that we might have lost touch with that. So I would invite anyone who's watching, who's experiencing this, to take a moment, pause, give yourself permission to feel whatever's present. Maybe it's okay to be sad. And once you're kind of through that, to start asking yourself, now what really helps me come to life? What is my desire? And really, you know, what is my passion and purpose for this next era of my life?
Okay, let's talk about spouses now, because the empty nest can offer a chance to get to know each other again, in a sense. But then again, you know, if you've spent, you know, the last 18, 20 years raising kids, and that's been the primary focus of your relationship, all of a sudden you're looking at each other and you're saying, now what? So how can we reconnect with our partners in these situations?
Well, I love that, Bill, because it could be that you look over and say, who are you, right? Because we've been playing these roles as parents, and sometimes, you know, the relationship itself has taken a back seat. So it can be, of course, an opportunity to rekindle a relationship, but it also might be like, wow, I don't really know quite what to do with this. So I think an important piece would be naming that with your partner, saying, hey, look, I'm noticing that I don't really know what we're here to do now. And I also notice that I'm experiencing this or feeling this with you. And that very willingness to speak to it can actually bring people closer, because then maybe you can start to bond and then ask each other individually and as a couple, now what? Now what do we want to do? What, you know, brings us to life, and what is our purpose now during this era?
All right, so for folks that are, you know, having the empty nest and may not have a partner, how can they combat loneliness? Because it can get lonely, right, when the kids move out?
Oh, absolutely. Especially if you're a single parent. Maybe you've had, like we've been saying, so much focus on your kids, which is a wonderful thing. And then they're out of the nest, so to speak, which, of course, where the term empty nester came from. I think loneliness, again, is kind of a twofold thing. Of course, we can say, yeah, you know, reach out to your friends, join a group, get out in nature, you know, all the things that we can say in the outer. But the inner life is also, for me, it's really honoring. It's okay to be lonely. It's okay to be sad. Feel some of that. And then as you feel that, start to ask yourself those same questions we've been talking about. Now what? Now what for me? What is my passion and purpose? And for some people, that may be a process, because it's been a while since we've investigated that. So when we look at loneliness, of course, being around other people helps. And there's also a deeper sense of how we work with loneliness, which is starting with it's okay to feel whatever's present for you. I think the number one thing I could say to someone is whatever you're feeling and whatever you're experiencing is perfectly normal and okay.
And for those of us who have invested so much time and effort in raising our kids, and now the kids may be off to college, or maybe they've moved away, what does a healthy relationship look like? Because we don't want to be a helicopter parent from 1,000 miles away, you know?
Right. Well, and is it even going to work? Right. Some of us try to focus on our kids and, trying that helicopter parent thing. But really, this can be, not always, but it can be a sense of like not really knowing what my own individual purpose is. So we kind of project outward and shift back to trying to either control or, take part in our kids' life. And obviously, if we're talking about someone leaving high school and going into college, an important part of their growth and evolution is this differentiation, which can often leave the parent saying, oh my gosh, like you're not here for me in the way you used to be. And sometimes that is, oh, who am I without this role as parent? So all of these questions can come up.
Coach and inspirational speaker TJ Woodward, always a pleasure to have you, my man. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Bill.